Greetings, flesh creatures. It is I, Megatron. On behalf of TFYLP, I want to congratulate you for listening to the most refined collective podcast on this miserable little planet Earth. Yes. Here you'll find knowledgeable fans discussing every aspect of Transformers and beyond. Now, enjoy the show while I continue my path to complete conquest of all of you miserable biological entities. Predacons, terrorize!
Hi, welcome to TFYLP, episode 468. We are live tonight. It's Wednesday, I don't know, what's the date? February 16th? I'm
I like
Lucas.
Christians better.
I'm joined tonight by Phil.
Bobby.
And a couple of hot rods.
Yeah.
I got Paul.
It's a beautiful day.
Christian.
What up? That was great that you had a hot rod too.
You know what I love
me.
is, so I had a comment up from the last show we did, whenever that was, and Zaldron put Paul wins, and I think it just it fits here too. So there you go.
Thanks, Mr. X.
I don't know. I'd say Lucas is not Lucas. Christians is more rare.
That's true.
That is true.
Is it at this time? At this moment in time, I would say that is debatable, because all the cloud hot rods are out, so there are thousands of those. Tell me where you found this, motherfuckers. Tell me. I don't think so.
I know where you live.
Great.
I appreciate, Paul, you having us get the explicit tag here just immediately right off the bat.
Just immediately.
You gotta put it in.
You gotta wait like an hour or so, and the kids stop listening to.
So, they stopped listening about 9 o'clock, right?
Right, exactly.
I felt challenged, and I had to throw it on the tapes.
Here you go.
Sorry, I apologize to all the children who I have scarred.
How dare you?
But yeah, so I apologize that we had to move the show here. I'm in the process of moving. I'm going to be moving for a long time, but I was on vacation and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, so that was kind of the deal with that. But there was an OOF TFYLP episode last week for people at least. So I appreciate Phil and Paul for you guys throwing that up there.
We were hoping you wouldn't notice.
I didn't notice. I'm finding out about it right now.
Yeah, we didn't know what to do.
Somewhere in the 1 hour mark, Paul and I did dueling Optimus Prime impressions talking about employee benefits.
Did we?
Yes, we did.
That sounds exciting.
Wow.
Definitely go watch that, everyone.
Yeah.
I need to get a timestamp on that so I can put the link on the YouTube comments.
Optimus Prime discusses your 401k options. Yeah.
I wish I
It
had
it's
401k
somehow
options.
transitioned from talking about the Optimus Prime Calm app to discussing that, and something just died upstairs. I don't know.
Lucas, can we get a 401k for the show? I've been here for 3 years. Can that be back paid?
I'll have to look into that. I don't think
2 more years and it'll be vested.
Right.
Oh, 2 more years
Yeah.
that can be vested? Okay.
I think the match goes the other way. It's like the show gives you a cent, you can put in 2 cents.
What year is it? It's 2022 now?
Yeah.
I've been here 4 years. Wow.
Man.
There you
I don't even
go.
know.
It's crazy. You almost have a nice 5-year work anniversary. So look for look for nothing in the mail for that.
I think it was 18 that I joined up. Could have been 17. Long-time listeners, let me know when I joined up. I don't remember.
To look that up back in the archives. So
That's assuming anyone's been listening for that long, Christian.
Probably just me.
I'm sure there's someone. But yeah, so anyway, so tonight's topic, we're gonna somehow find a way to stretch a 10-second trailer into over an hour
And one
show.
image. And one image.
So
Talking about 2 new shows.
yeah, So somebody was talking about Vangelis doing that, and I was like, all right, challenge accepted. We have to do the same thing.
Well, I'm glad
Already stretched it into several minutes.
Well, I'm glad we're finally focusing on current events that are like literally current instead of
That has just happened.
instead of waiting a few weeks to talk about it like we have for some of the past things.
This is what happens when we do the show on Wednesday, right? Like somehow the news drops before instead of after.
It did drop on Transformers Tuesday.
But it doesn't sound like this was a Transformers announcement. This sounds like, from what I've been seeing, that this was a Nickelodeon/Paramount announcement. There was a bunch of stuff that they announced yesterday. Ninja Turtle related stuff, SpongeBob, South Park, Beavis and Butthead related stuff. So it was a very large Paramount animation media blitz that
Also,
occurred yesterday.
The Halo series got renewed, even though it hasn't premiered yet.
Yeah.
Right.
Peacemaker
Big
is
day for
going to season 2.
Who is?
Peacemaker.
I wish it would get canceled. I wish they would just delete season 1.
You don't have to watch it, Christian.
It existing is too much for me. It's so bad.
It's a Peacemaker show with John Cena?
Yeah.
The show's amazing. It's like
It's just terrible.
most of my friends, it's like their favorite show on TV.
I don't know. Think about, I don't know. Your friends are older than I am. You guys are all older than I am. It's horrible to me.
Okay. I like some of my friends that are very similar in age to you, like maybe a year or two older, absolutely adore the show.
Probably. I am elderly now. I did join the ranks of the elderly 2 months ago.
I mean, we're all old enough to remember when John Cena was wrestling, right?
I don't even know how you know what he is doing. You can't see him.
Froggy Fresh.
I was at the first televised John Cena match for WWF.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good job, Grandpa.
Yeah.
This is the best.
So this animation blitz, are these shows supposed to be on Netflix, or I'm sorry, on Nickelodeon or on Paramount Plus or both? Do we know?
So it's both. It's both. This is a big push that Paramount Plus, it sounds like, has had some success with their kids programming. Certainly when you talk about streaming, there is a very large kids contingent of kids shows that are streaming because, quite frankly, like that's, like kids don't watch, Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon, nor at least my kids don't watch those. They watch streaming. Like my 2-year-old streams Thomas, and my 7-year-old streams Ninjago. Like for them to watch regular cable TV or network TV and see commercials, is like, what is this thing? Why am I seeing these people talk about this stuff? Go back to the show. And so, when you look at Netflix as a huge content of kids programming, obviously Disney Plus has a huge content of kids programming. This is Paramount adding more to both their kids programming and general animation properties with what they own through Comedy Central with South Park and MTV with Beavis and Butthead.
So, Phil, where do you work again? Do you work for Paramount? Because it fucking seems like it.
I read one article about this. This was not that hard to get this information.
Sure, but I mean the confidence and the swagger in which you were able to answer Lucas's question really has me I've taken aback. I'm impressed by your breadth of info.
I just figure we're doing a live broadcast. I should talk with some knowledge and confidence around what I'm saying.
I love it.
That was very eloquent.
Just because Phil is trying to prepare for the show here, rather than just
showing us all up.
Yeah,
it's a new paradigm. It's with the launch of this press release, Phil has just upped the game of TFYLP by at least 50%. So,
yeah.
Well, I think for me it was more of everything that I was seeing on the Transformers sites was focused on the clip and screen grabs from the clip, and I'm like, all right, I want some more information. So I dug around a little bit, and there's a couple websites that are more focused on animation and the press release stuff, and that's where I was finding a lot of this information. So it's that's where I uncovered all of this. So, some Dora the Explorer stuff. There's some, Blues Clues spinoffs that are coming. So it's happening.
So it's a good time to be like 3 years old, right?
Yeah, like 3 to 10. It's think about the amount of hours of cartoons we had to watch. And when I mean me, Lucas, and Paul, because Christian has stated multiple times already in the short time we've been on air that he is younger than us and from a different generation. But in the times gone by era that Lucas, Paul, and I are from, you would have maybe an hour or two of cartoons in the morning, most of which you couldn't watch because you had to get ready for school. In the summer, you get to watch that.
Some of us had paper routes, Phil. Some of us were already budding entrepreneurs as young children.
Like I said, not everyone got to watch the hour or two that was on in the mornings. Before.
Well, no. You had to get up like 4 hours ahead of all the kids going to school, and you actually had time to watch these cartoons.
Okay.
Sorry, I wasn't able to clarify.
Oh, you're good. And then you had 2 to 3 hours in the afternoons. Yeah. And then you had a big block from 7 to noon on Saturdays. And some networks had stuff on Sunday mornings as well. But that was your cartoons. The rest of the time, once you got to 5 o'clock in the afternoon, cartoons were gone for the day. Once you got to noon on Saturday and Sunday, cartoons were gone for the day. So you had these limited windows of time to watch cartoons. And now it is just as much as you want, as long as you want.
It's like drinking from the fire hose.
The thing I think is weird is that there are no Saturday morning cartoons anymore. You can't. I mean, obviously you can watch it on streaming, but there is no block of cartoons on Fox Kids or whatever. How we had.
Nope.
No, I mean, what is a lot of those things switch? I feel like a lot of it's now infomercials during those time slots.
Yeah.
So I think it was with Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon once you had both of those fully up and running, and then Disney would do once you had cable become more prevalent in people's houses, and you had the kids cable networks. ABC, CBS, NBC, and Fox were just there's no real need for this anymore. Why are we paying for this? We can get the money other ways. We're not getting that much ratings, so let's figure out some other way we can make money.
But I do think that streaming in general, that's for anyone with kids, you're gonna pick the streaming service that has the good kids content as well, because you don't want to have to worry about your kid watching watching commercials, and a lot of times the kids kind of take that over a little bit. So, and if that's where they go, that becomes very sticky, where they're just going to start watching everything on Netflix or everything on Disney Plus or whatever it may be. Pick your streaming service. So I can completely see where that NBC and Paramount are trying to make that hub of content. What's up?
Mr. Russ Christian, are you sick of hearing this news framed by from the view of a 40-year-old parent?
Do you want me to be sick of that?
Yeah, because I think you should start talking about the real, what people want to know about.
Oh, okay, cool. So, yeah, I'm sick of it. Shut up, grandpas. Anyway, no, don't. Just kidding. So yeah, the rest of the Paramount announcement did pertain to us. We have Rise of the Bests coming next summer, like we knew, and they reconfirmed that there's a fully CG animated Transformers movie coming the year after that, which is pretty cool. It's kind of what we've always wanted, unless it's all about humans, which is not what we wanted. But we'll see.
Do we know that, because they said something about that Rise of the Bests would be the start of a new trilogy, correct?
No, that is not
That's
what
not
they
true.
said. What did they say?
I'm glad I'm asking.
I also saw a lot of comments saying, yep, they confirmed it's a reboot. And I'm like, where?
Right. This reminds me, this, I'm glad you brought it up, Phil, because I want to talk about that. I'm getting real strong vibes of when at Toy Fair one year, everyone went crazy because the sites all reframed what was said, and they're like, Bumblebee is a new storytelling universe. Oh my God, that means it's a new story. It's a reboot. Well, guess what, guys? It wasn't, and it was a big fuckaroo by TFW that everyone else on the planet went off with. They were all wrong, 100%. And now we're in a debacle in fan world where people are fighting over whether it's a reboot or not. And there's no repercussions for them all being wrong, which is great. So they did not say it's a new trilogy. They said this really weird statement, which, Christian, would you like to repeat what it was? Or do you want me to?
You probably have it in front of you.
One of 3 new installments.
Oh, that's
in the
Rise
fuck
of the Best,
is an installment?
The movie and the TV show, Earthspark.
That's
what that means.
Yes, that's what I'm saying too.
Who is taking that and making extreme things out of it? No, they're like,
I
it's
can
3
list
new
the
installments.
websites.
They're called this thing, and this thing. It's a new trilogy. No, it's not. I didn't even notice that. There's like, it's 3 new things. Here's the 3 new things. Love Paramount.
Yeah, especially when they mention like an animated film coming out later. It's like, wait a minute, is that part of whatever this? I don't know. It's bizarre. And now,
yeah, that's what I'm trying to gather at too. Is like, is this going to be like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, where it's a different thing than the Transformers live action, and somehow maybe if they want to, they can make it connect? Or is this like, hey, this is Rise of the Best, and then the animated one will be sometime back in Cybertron in the same universe?
Even Zaldron's getting fooled here. He says, "Oh, it's the first of 3 new movies." They never said first of a trilogy. They didn't say either of those things, bro. They said 3
new things.
First of 3 installments. What's an installment when you're talking about media? If you're making a new trilogy, 3 new movies, 1, 2, 3, you're gonna say I'm making 3 new movies. You're not gonna say I'm making 3 things.
2 press statements. That's
3 random things.
Who wanted to make 1 press release? Yeah.
So just read. Don't read between the lines when it comes to this stuff. Just read what they say, and it makes a lot more sense.
The movie we know about, the movie we kind of know about, and the show we now know about. Now we're going to talk about that show.
I mean, I will say, odds are there probably will be 3 more Transformers movies at some point. It seems like that with Paramount and Michael Bay and all that they seem to make money with these things. And so there probably will be additional movies.
Transformers Rise of the Bests, sick, if you know what that means, will be released theatrically in 2023 and is the first of 3 new installments. Period. Punctuation.
Is it really sick? Or
then more sentences.
Are you just making it?
I'm pretending it's the same.
Oh, man, that would be hilarious if it actually done it.
It would be sick if it was so sick. But it is Rise of the Best.
Okay, so the main news. Okay, can we do my news first?
Yes.
Because it's even more minor than the 10-second clip of Earthspark. All right. So today we got a Netflix announcement that included 4 new kids shows they've got coming out, 3 of which don't matter to me at all because I don't care. But the 4th was BotBots, March 25th, baby. It's happening.
Oh, and for those of you who do care about other things, season 2 of Power Rangers Dino Fury and season 2 of the Netflix kid-friendly He-Man show. Can't remember what the 4th one was.
Dog. Dinosaurs are so furious.
Super dogs.
Super dogs with the
super dog.
Do they normally make multiple seasons of a Power Rangers show? Like, I thought it normally goes on to the next.
I think they've been doing like 2 seasons now with this concept and cast. Okay. But they'll usually get like new upgraded armor and Zords and all that stuff. So it's
obviously
you can still sell new shit.
Right. But yeah, Christian, I mean, I look forward to them dumping it one day on Netflix and having no promotion for it, no toys for it, no nothing. You just, here's your show. It's been sitting on a shelf for a year. Here you go, Christian. Have fun.
I am so excited about BotBots.
I'm excited that Zaldron dropped a Power Rangers and Adam Cole reference in the chat.
Cares with Power Rangers. There were 4 BotBots in the image. That's what we know. It's 2D animated. Angry Toast was there, or Angry Cheese is his name. One of the techie team was there. Some weird looking thing is there in the middle of the 2 of them. I don't know what that is. And there's also a new bot that does not have a toy yet in the form of a yellow or golden baseball glove.
Are you going to be upset, Christian, if they put bots on the screen and they don't make toys of it?
Yes.
Will you then make customs of the bots?
If possible, yes. Well, probably not, because I sold all my extra bots.
If only there was someone selling
bad timing
bots.
on that one.
You're right, it was bad timing on that one. Oh, well.
You knew that show was coming. You knew.
Not when I did it, actually. The announcement came later.
This is one of those things that's going to be very interesting because there is zero product on the shelf unless you have a City Trends near you.
Yeah. The Series 6 stuff was announced at Toy Fair 2 years ago and probably canceled. But then there were even more listings, including like new vehicle sets and new teams that weren't even part of Series 6. So like there's still stuff. It seems to be happening behind the scenes, but it's not one of the two major Transformers lines. So they're not getting covered in Fan First Friday or whatever. So there's probably still something happening. I can't imagine that they would launch the show without toys, because they announced the show right as Series 5 was hitting, and then Series 6 didn't hit. So I feel like they canceled Series 6 in order to hold it for the show. Maybe it's pandemic time. It's hard to tell. The show and the pandemic happened. The show announcement and the pandemic started at the same time.
Catherine is looking for reasons why they wouldn't release previous bots because the show's coming out. Do we want to give her reasons, or should we move on to something more fun?
I mean, reissues typically don't happen, especially in a kid-oriented line.
My answer is, Catherine, someone has to be willing to carry the bots for
That's
Hasbro to remake them.
Interestingly, there are Walmart listings that are dormant for Series 6 and beyond. And Walmart was the one that kind of made the line reformat because they dropped it after Series 3.
Catherine, there will be no replacement for Buzzworthy Bumblebee. Buzzworthy Bumblebee is with us now, and it will be
it's still
forever.
happening.
And it's Target.
So this is something that I think comes back to what we were talking about earlier in terms of the difference with streaming shows. Like, you can have a streaming show with no product on the shelf, because guess what? When you had the old way of having cartoons where you had a certain block, every kid was watching those shows. You didn't necessarily have a choice. You had a choice between a couple channels, but you didn't have many choices of what to watch. But now when you have a streaming show, streaming shows exist without merchandise to support them, because, even though this is a new streaming show, like, all right, what did they get? It got a little blurb in a Netflix new kids show coming soon. Like that might be the only hype that this gets. Now, that being said, we talked about, I don't know if it was last week, Paul, with you and I, or sometime before that, what is going to, happen in terms of a Toy Fair replacement. This coming weekend was supposed to be Toy Fair. And so maybe we would have seen some new bots, whether it's repackaged or brand new bots to coincide with the release of the show. And so we still might see that in whatever Hasbro is going to use to replace Toy Fair. But, just because we haven't seen it yet doesn't mean it's dead. But I wouldn't hold my breath.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Like you mentioned earlier, this was a media only announcement. It wasn't even really from Hasbro.
Yeah, from Paramount and then from Netflix.
Yeah, so toy announcements still would be forthcoming.
And the bots wasn't from Paramount. The bots was from Netflix, and that's maybe
Netflix.
Another reason why. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it's not getting that big of a push because Paramount and Hasbro with the Transformers stuff seem to be gelling more, which would leave Netflix sort of out in the cold.
We'll just have to see. I mean, Hasbro's liked making Netflix branded toys previously with the Transformers War for Cybertron stuff. And they did 3 rounds of that, which is cool. 2 rounds of that?
But
are you equating that to bots, though?
Look, man, if they want to do it, they can do it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but Paramount Plus didn't exist when Hasbro and Netflix got into that relationship.
Yeah.
And so now that you've got Paramount, which makes the Transformers movie, having their own streaming service, it makes a lot of sense that corporate synergy would happen. and you would have Hasbro and Paramount team up for more media.
Well, one thing
That'd be fine,
I'm
too.
kind of curious with this new shows, it does seem like that they have a higher budget for production, because one of the things I think that in the announcement that the actors, like I thought I read somewhere that they're actually using union actors for the show, which they didn't for the ones on Netflix.
Whoa!
Which is almost kind of like weird, them going back to that, because it's been a number of years since they've actually used union actors for the show.
I mean, they rebooted, Rescue Bots partially to be able to get rid of the union actors.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Yeah.
That is pretty brutal. I didn't know that.
It sucks.
Yeah.
But
So
for
the
this
other
new
one,
show,
Xbox
isn't
bots.
one of the
one's
producers
called-
from Rescue Bots a producer for this show?
Yes.
Yes. This new show, the Nickelodeon show, is called Transformers Earthspark. One word. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
They released a 10-second
No,
clip
that
of it on
deserves a
Tuesday
3-second
night.
pause.
I don't know. I'm not sure either. You guys were all contemplating.
Okay. I thought you had more to say.
I did not.
Okay.
I loved the pause, honestly.
It's poignant. Now, they had a clip of it. It looks like a very childlike show, but that could be fine. What I'm more interested in is the independent announcement that came afterwards from Nick Roche.
He
Who is this
designing
Nick
these.
Roche fella? Christian?
He's our hero from comic book world. Well, one of them. He's a fantastic artist and a pretty good writer.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently he's been working on the character design for these Earthspark fellows. Which is cool.
Yeah, which after that kind of came out, you could. It
There you
didn't
go.
like. I wouldn't say it like changed my initial opinion of what I had seen or my feelings about it, but I was like, oh, I guess I can squint and I can be like, oh yeah, I can sort of see some Roach there. But I'm still not sure.
I felt like the models almost seemed closer to Prime than what they did, like what I imagine Nick Roche stuff is.
Well, I would look at the new character. There were like two clearly brand new sort of Transformers that we maybe have not seen before. I could see some Roach, influence there. I wouldn't say it was like line by line drawn by him, but I do not think he like drew. I do not think he designed Elita 1 or the Optimus or the Bumblebee.
So I want to pause on that real quickly. Elita 1, like, prominent Transformer character now. Like, it had not really been. She had been a couple episode G1 character. Like, didn't even get, like, has she even had her own toy yet that she hasn't shared a mold with RC or somebody else?
Nope.
So yeah, I mean, Elita 1 moving up in the world of Transformers there.
But I do think it's good to have, a varying cast of female Transformers, that it's not like, oh, it's only going to be Windblade, or it's only going to, because I feel like that we had RC, before, and then I feel like Windblade was kind of like the token female. And so it's nice to, like, hopefully we can get more female, like, and it does seem like that they're making more of a push of having diversity and, in the cast.
I mean, Strong Arm. She hasn't existed since RID, but
I was gonna say I'm getting real big strong arm vibes from this version of RC. It's cool. It's cool.
Oh,
to see
from the half
different.
second you saw of her, it's like, oh yeah, that's a Strong Arm type character.
Well, you can. She turns into a car this time. You can see from like analyzing the frame that she's in. She has like
Car kibble.
Yeah, that's a good, best way to put it. I was thinking too hard. She has car cable all over her.
Yeah.
That she wouldn't usually have. So.
Did you guys notice what else she and Prime had?
The symbols.
Weird
Those
badges.
new faction symbols. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that.
Well, it's just a new version of the Autobot symbol. It's almost like to me, it's akin to like the Elite Guard from the animated. It's like the Autobot symbol plus, plus something. bunch of lines.
Yes, but what does it mean?
I guess we'll have to watch the show to find out.
Unfortunately, yes, we will.
Did they give a date for it?
I don't know if they gave a date. They did say 26 episodes.
Is it 26 real episodes, or is it 26,
Is it-
15-second episodes?
I don't-
Cyberpunk
Is it 26 installments?
I don't think, Christian, that they actually make 20-some minute cartoons anymore. Like, I just don't think that's a thing.
Netflix would like to speak with you.
Does because I'm trying to think, the Ninja Turtles cartoons, the ones that were on Nickelodeon before, were those like 20-some minutes, or were those the like 10, 12-minute? I don't remember.
Don't know. And that is, I think, a good line there that you're drawing, Lucas, is that the shows that air on networks, because this will be on Nickelodeon and then come to Paramount Plus, those tend to be, you're right, the more like 12-minute episodes versus the stuff that comes right to streaming. We still get like the 20, 26-minute episodes.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I'm just excited overall with the show based on who's involved with it. Like, it seems like that a lot of the producers from the Ninja Turtle show are on this as well, producing this. So, like, that seemed like the and when I say Ninja Turtles, I think it was the one from 2014. I think it was several years ago. But like, it's exciting to actually have people that produced a good show previously to be on the show as well, because I think that's ultimately what we're all looking for, is like just give us some good cartoons, some good animation.
Give us good showrunners and good writers. That's I think what we're looking for.
I mean, Cyberverse was good. You can't deny it was good. Yeah. Only people that say Cyberverse wasn't good are the ones that did not watch it.
I watched it and it was bad.
You didn't? Did you watch season 2, Christian?
No, because I couldn't get through season 1.
Well, there you go.
You also don't like Peacemaker, so your opinion is null and void.
Wow. Thanks for that.
Welcome.
Yeah, but no, like
it
was a good show as well.
Yeah. Okay, well, good.
Yeah, my only, like, I was definitely not jazzed about this announcement and what I saw, and and I know it's so stupid to even have a judgment call at this point. I mean, at least all the stuff you guys are saying, yeah, these point towards like positive things for the show. The people involved look like the right people. That they have a good track records. There's, Nick Roach, from a fan perspective, having Nick Roach involved seems like the best thing ever in into animated thing. Although this might be his first foray into a non-comic book thing. I'm not really sure.
Design work is not like he's
doing art direction.
He's part of the writing crew.
Yeah, and if I wanted him involved, I would want him as a creative, director, or him having a say in the way things look more so than, like, I love his story. I love his stories. Like, he's the full package. But if you had to pick one piece of him to apply to a show, it'd be the art direction and the creative look. But I'm not sure I'm not sure that's going to be enough to make it like compelling for me. It just looks like the same sort of rebrand, but like a few years later. It is, to me, some combination of Unicron Trilogy, Prime, and Cyberverse. Like, it doesn't, and RID. It doesn't really blow me away. It doesn't look like a creative paradigm shift like Transformers Animated maybe was. And it's hard to compare everything to Transformers Animated.
Let's pause on that. You guys just did an episode 2 weeks ago on Transformers Animated, and what was the reaction when the first promo shots for Transformers Animated came out?
There was some trepidation for sure.
This is really, really similar. Now, again, the Roach news was, I think, a bit of a tide turner. That added credence to that. Oh, this might be neat. I did like, from what I read of the description of the show, that the reason it's called Earthspark is what we have here is a show about the first Transformers born on Earth. So we have new characters with a new setting, potentially leaving behind some of the Cybertronian war, or at least we're not going to do like the, here's the Cybertron war all over again kind of thing. So, I get it. There were Transformers born on Earth during G1, but this is a focus on new Transformers characters. So I'm interested.
I
I'm
did
not
not
saying
see that part. That sounds interesting.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, I guess like you're saying that happened plenty of times in Transformers past, but it wasn't like dissected and like, oh, does that mean something different than being born on Cybertron? Are you still a Cybertronian, etc.? Yeah, I mean, I read that too, and I thought like, okay, at least there's some relevance to the name. Like it sort of starts to gel a little bit. But the thing that I did not like the absolute most was in those little clips, and I know, again, it's stupid to harp on this, but like what they show, Transformers transforming, there were 2 scenes of them transforming in that small clip. It looked like that bullshit where it's like, missed, and oh, now it's a vehicle.
Yeah.
There was no actual parts flipping around. It's like, it was worse than Earthrise, honestly. Or the whole War for Cybertron trilogy, how they handled transformation. So that does not bode that part does not bode well for how this works. It may be a minor problem.
That's picking nits, in my opinion.
I don't think so. I disagree with you when it's transforming. Like, those are some of the most scrutinized scenes. When you have Transformers media that's animated, I feel like that's the main. It's like the main putting asses in the seats is like, how do they transform? Because you get to actually watch it happen. You fucked that up, and you fucked it all up.
Yeah, but when you go back to G1 and you'd watch how these dudes transform, especially as we've gotten some of these newer toys like the Studio Series stuff or some of the toys that are supposed to be more G1 animation accurate. Like, so I remember looking at the Alicon transformation, and looking at it closely because I'm like, all right, I'm really pissed off with the Alicon and like what happens with his arms. And so I'm watching the animation from the 86 cartoon. And it's just like his arms just magically become, from robot to the alligator arms. And it's just like poof, like that. So there's always been, yes, there was more involved.
But Phil, at least there were frames. There were frames to analyze, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm sure with CGI, it's probably, there's going to be a cost concern to doing that animation.
Right.
And I'd rather have something quick than going Unicron trilogy style, where it's a 30-second transformation process. That's, them yelling and screaming their names and like arms. I mean, that's cool when Unicron does it for the first time in the 86 movie, but no, I don't want that every single freaking episode.
I forgot about that.
There should be a happy medium somewhere between anime cutscene transformations and a cloud of smoke.
I'll go for Prime on that one.
Prime
does it well.
Yes, Prime did it very, very well.
Yeah.
And the movies are a great example of like those transformation scenes are classics. Like just the angles by which they show them transform and stuff, and they clearly spent a lot of time on that. And I'm not expecting a kids show to spend that much time, but good Lord, I hope all the transformations are not like what we saw in those 2 clips. So it is hard to judge off that. But like that, the one that turns into the hovercraft is like blue, and then it turns into a red hovercraft or a drone or whatever. I'm like, what is happening?
But then later we see that character and he's red again. So I'm wondering if that's his first time going into his alt mode and going from like protoform stage to, here's how he's going to look now kind of deal.
Yeah, if there's a storytelling reason, then like, I'll put my foot in my mouth for sure.
No, that was jarring to me as well. I was like, wait, why is this guy white and blue and now he's red and yellow?
They just chose some weird scenes to like be like, here's the first look at the show. Awesome.
Like maybe actually give us a look at the show.
So does this mean that we can get some of those toys? Like Like, I don't know if you guys have seen those now where you can like hatch stuff out of an egg, or there's like something where you can like throw pixie dust and it like makes smoke, and then like the toy comes out of the bottom of whatever. Like, are we going to get some of that for Transformers? Because I'd be for that.
I mean, I don't see why Hasbro wouldn't do that given the popularity of those kinds of things. Honestly, they might exist, and the only one who knows about them are Peter and Nick, because the rest of us ignore them.
That's likely.
One thing I would say though is that if by them having like those whatever poof magic transformations, like we get to actually see more transformations, I might be okay with it, if that makes sense. Because like I was so annoyed where they never transform in the Netflix show, that it'd be nice even if it is a quick thing.
My favorite part of the Netflix transformations was in Earthrise when they're running away from the Quintessons, and like half of everybody transforms, and then like everyone else is just running. It's the same speed, so like, why have you done this?
Yeah. I mean, what if you can't do the transformations and it's going to impede the storytelling like you just described? Like, why are you making this show? Like, think about it. Ugh.
I will say, I talked to a non-Transformers friend of mine, and he was like, "Oh, have you seen that thing on Netflix? I liked it a lot." And I was like, "Great, man! I'm really glad you did."
Have you seen all the movies?
I'm never gonna try and take anyone's enjoyment of anything away. Just because I'm old and jaded doesn't mean someone else can't enjoy stuff.
Someday you'll find out that the older you get, the more enjoyment you actually get out of stamping other people's enjoyment.
I'm not going to stamp out other people's enjoyment.
You will.
They should be allowed to enjoy things.
They should be, but I won't. I won't allow them that enjoyment.
Maybe I'm just a better person than all of you.
I do think that I brought.
Oh, you like the Michael Bay movies? Well, then you're retarded. Sorry. I'm sorry. No, that was bad of me. I very deeply
rewind.
Yeah, I take that back sincerely. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
We let you.
Yeah. Well, no, you didn't let me. No one let me. I made a bad choice of.
No, we're letting you take it back.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
R/bye job though.
We'll cut that out in post, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
On our live show. Where was I going with? I don't know. I lost my train of thought now.
Transformations.
Seems fine.
Earthspark.
There are tiny kids in it again, which is always a negative in my opinion. But I guess it's on a kids network, so they got to be there.
One point I was going to bring up is I feel like that a lot of these reboots and new shows and whatever, like the people that are hardcore fans like hate them, but like the average audience member loves it. Like the Transformers movie was like that. And like the Power Rangers movie, I think Power Rangers fans didn't really like, but I thought it was really good. Like I enjoyed it. So there's just a lot of things like that. I think if you're not actually like a hardcore fan, that you probably enjoy it more than someone who's seen every single Transformers media out there and is comparing it, on their checklist of which one is the best and which one is the worst.
It's true. We kind of backed ourselves into a corner with that.
Yeah.
And I think
we can't
that's
fully enjoy anything anymore.
No, but that's the point, is that these studios, they're trying to draw in the filthy casual because they know us hardcores are gonna pay and go see it anyways. Like we will sit there and like, oh my god, the Michael Bay movies are awful, they're terrible. Hey, what time is your ticket for? I'm going to the 9:00 show. Are you going to the 7 one?
I mean, yeah, I think they're doing all the right things this time. I mean, just hearing Rick talk about working with the Hub and like Cartoon Network and stuff, I feel like Hasbro has never had the right partner for this stuff in the modern era. And like seeing like Transformers with Netflix, I was like, oh yeah, that's the way it should go. And they're still doing that with the BotBots thing, but like that wasn't as good as I was hoping. Maybe, and not seeing it with Nickelodeon, it's like, hey, This might be it. This might be the way it's supposed to be. Like get the connection there, and it might hit the right group of kids.
I actually think that this whole Paramount Plus and like, I know that we've all been like kind of, not loving that, whatever Hasbro's been paired up with Paramount for so long. But I actually think that this could be a really good thing for them long term because, they don't have a plethora of properties that they're trying to push. And I think that Transformers could be one of the main properties. Like, they've got Paramount has Star Trek, and I think, Transformers is another big one. And I think that it really, doing these types of shows that aren't, the $500 million movie, I think that they can kind of produce that, especially with some of these kids shows.
Yeah, I agree with that point, Lucas. I mean, when you take a look at what all these streaming services are trying to do, they're trying, like you said earlier, to have these sticky relationships. They want the big tentpole franchises to be part of it. Certainly, Disney Plus has that with the Marvel and Star Wars shows. Like, this is the first Wednesday in I don't know how many months where we haven't had a new Disney Plus nerd show with a Star Wars or Marvel one coming out. So yeah, I'm going to withdrawal. And so, Paramount, you're right, has that with Star Trek, and they're going to start it with Halo, but what other tentpole do they have? Universal with their Peacock, they've got the Jurassic Park, they've got Harry Potter, although that keeps flipping, I think, back and forth to HBO. HBO has the Warner Brothers stuff, so you've got everything in that catalog, the DC, the Looney Tunes, all of that. And then Netflix has just built up its own tent poles with shows like Stranger Things and that type of genre kind of deal. But Paramount, do you any of you guys have Paramount Plus? Okay, so Christian, why do you have Paramount Plus?
It came with my dad's Prime subscription.
All right, so you didn't go and seek it out.
I did not, but I do watch Star Trek Discovery on it.
Okay, so do you watch anything else on it? I'll watch Picard on it, season 2, when that comes out. I haven't really watched Star Trek Discovery.
And Brave New Worlds is coming soon as well.
Okay, so they've got the Star Trek stuff that's bringing you in. Like I got it. I swapped passwords with one of my friends. I was sure this is committing some sort of crime. I gave him my Hulu password. He gave me his Paramount Plus password, and because I wanted to see the South Park movies, and I went on Paramount Plus and was like, oh, cool, what else is on here? And like, oh, God, nothing else I want to see. I have watched the 2 South Park movies on Paramount Plus, and that has been it. So, yeah, I'll watch the new season of Picard when that comes out, but I'm still just like, it's mainly CBS shows, of which I have very little interest in. So, yeah, I'll try out Halo.
You don't watch 10-year-old CSI episodes?
No.
I would have purchased a new subscription to watch Halo.
Yeah. I will say I got Paramount Plus when Picard came out, and then I canceled it right after. So
yeah, and even then, I think it was still branded as CBS All Access.
Yeah.
So they're trying to expand beyond that because I think what they realize is that they're by branding it as just CBS. Like, people who don't watch CBS don't want to watch Paramount. Didn't want to watch that network. That streaming service, so they rebranded themselves like a year or so back.
But I think everyone, because whatever, there's 1,000 different streaming services out there now, and so you're looking for value. Like, why are you going to pick that over Disney Plus or Netflix or whatever it is, because they've got the new shows, like where you're alternating Marvel and Star Wars and all that. And so I think that Paramount needs this too, and so that's where I think that they can be that partner with Hasbro and put up some of these properties.
And I think, to your point as well, is like they don't have as many properties, so Transformers might get a bigger seat at the table than they would as just one of another dozen new shows coming out on Netflix that month.
That part is very fair. There's crap coming on Netflix every single day, I think, or at least week.
Feels like it.
I think Transformers got lost in the shuffle, even with the War for Cybertron stuff, and which wasn't good. But I think if it launched somewhere else and it was like a bigger deal, I think it might have been better. Paramount might also be a good place to park all of the previous shows, because right now what is available is parked on Tubi. Like, does anyone actually use that?
Tubi.
No, but Rick's pointed out how some of that just you won't ever be able to undo because they were made with Cartoon Network or they were made with Hub, and so you're going back to the original content creators. So what Hasbro has with the Transformers cartoons is similar to what like Marvel was dealing with, with X-Men and Spider-Man and Fantastic Four and all those properties where they didn't have a strong relationship or an in-house movie studio. So they're partnering up with all these other movie studios that, everyone was getting a slice of the Marvel universe until, they started making their own movies with Iron Man, then got bought out by Disney. So now you have almost everything under one roof, but you still can't do a Hulk movie with Marvel. And you still need to work with Sony to do Spider-Man movies with Marvel because of those previous agreements. The older Transformers cartoons are subject to a lot of that same sort of contractual, just, whatever. So who knows if we'll ever see some of those on a regular streaming service again.
Conspiracy theory, I think Hasbro now wholly owns the 2001 Robots in Disguise again, but they don't realize it yet.
But you do?
Yes.
Why would
it's
they?
either owned by them or it's at Disney, and they don't care. So it's one of those two places.
Bear with me just a moment, gentlemen.
Where? Let me see it.
I want to know.
I want to see the bear.
We're gonna bear it all. Phil's gonna bear it all live.
Anyway, I think Hasbro got Robots in Disguise back when they bought Saban.
Ooh. Well,
they don't know.
Wait. Did they buy Saban or did they buy Power Rangers?
They bought Saban.
They bought Saban, yeah.
Oh.
That's how they got Power Rangers.
Maybe the long play was just to get the fucking Robots in Disguise back.
Yes, that was the reason.
No one at Hasbro now knows what Robots in Disguise is. Promise.
Oh, dear.
Oh, wait, no. That one designer guy in his loft has an Omega Prime behind him when he does Fan First Fridays.
Well, yeah, but those guys aren't the ones making creative decisions.
Yeah,
fair. So it's they either got it in the Saban deal or it wasn't part of the Saban deal and it's at Disney because it was on Fox Kids, which got sold to like Disney XD, and that's where a lot of that crap ended up.
I hate talking about that stuff because it just hurts my head, and it's a bummer that it is not just all in one nice, not tied up with a nice, neat bow. Transformers keeps evolving, and as Earthspark shows, that's probably the best way to go, is just be like, wipe the slate clean. Noah's flood came through, destroyed everything that used to be Transformers. Let's do it over again.
I'm just glad they used a new word for the title. We haven't had a new worded show since Transformers Animated, I guess.
But that is, like, I hate that it's called Animated, I know, wasn't it supposed to originally be called, like, Heroes or something? Like,
that's the original concept, yeah.
That would have been... I mean, that's still pretty vague, but it would have been better than Animated, because like Animated is it has nothing to do with the story. It's more of a descriptor of the...
I didn't say it was good. I just said it's the last new word.
What would have been the worst thing they could have used? Let's all
More than meets
one.
The eye. Robots in Disguise for the third
time.
time.
Someone from another text chain I was in used, I think, what would be the worst title: Woke Transformers.
Oh, jeez.
No, well, I think one of my first things that like came out of my mouth was like, oh no, it's Woke Formers, when I saw the trailer, because it just...
Why?
I don't know. I was mad at the art style, that it's just another CG, but like trying to look...
You can't even tell if it's woke or not. There's literally 10 seconds.
I know.
The kid says there's a Transformer, there's boom boom pow, and then it's gone. Like, what?
I know. I'm just saying it was I shouldn't even have said it, but it was an initial... I'm just trying to like take the heat from what Phil said earlier.
Crap out of here.
Right, there you go.
No, the worst thing they could have done is just been like, it's just called Transformers.
Yo, and that's what I was gonna say. What if it's called Transformers Transform, like with the colon?
That is still a new word. They never used that before. Like Cyberverse was readapted from a toy line.
I think they should call it
Robots in
Disguise.
Disguise. Robots in Disguise.
That's really
The
what
Robots in
they need
Disguise
to
the
do.
third time.
Right.
Has there ever been have they ever just called a show Transformers Roll Out?
Nope.
No.
That would be
Good
good.
one.
That'd be
Good
good.
one.
It'd be it would be really awful if they started using like the toy names, like Transformers Deluxe or like Transformers Voyager.
Transformers Commanders. Oh no.
Yeah, and be like and like they have to then they would have to change all the toy line.
But like Voyager's
phrasing.
actually kind of wouldn't be a terrible cartoon name.
No, it wouldn't.
No, it'd be all fine. They just haven't changed the toy assortment names since 2005.
Yeah. Except for the little guys.
Transformers Leader 1.
Transformers Titans that already kind of existed.
I mean, Transformers Prime is as good as the series was. Like that name is just rude. That's what they used. Because like you can't, it's unsearchable.
You can't search for it.
It's awful.
Earthspark, you could search for. That's not a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, like, you just sound so stupid when you're like, "Oh, I love my Optimus Prime." From which series? Oh, Transformers Prime Optimus Prime. You know, you just sound like
Beast Hunters. I got my Transformers Prime Beast Hunters, Beast Hunter, Optimus Prime Beast Hunting figure. What the hell did you just say?
Kill us all. We deserve to die.
It's like 4 different words, but it took me 15 seconds to say.
Were you talking about that while ordering your Starbucks Grande low-fat, non-fat mochaccino with 3 pumps extra peppermint?
Yes. How do you know I like extra peppermint?
Just throwing out.
Very perceptive.
Yeah.
So, Lucas, when did you sell all your toys?
All my toys are still at my house, but this is satellite location here, Paul.
It was same day I sold mine, I guess, right?
Right. Yeah, but I think if you
Lucas,
put your walls down, you'll actually have toys behind it, whereas I
should
don't,
just
so.
smash this
Just
wall.
smash them down.
Lucas, how much money did you put on the Chiefs in the AFC Championship that your wife kicked you out of the house?
That's a great question.
So clearly there's a real answer. But he won't tell you.
No, I put no money on the Chiefs, so. But,
It was all prop bets. Mahomes was supposed to get at least 6 touchdowns and 400 yards in that game.
Anyway. Well, do we have anything else to say on this? Like, we've went an hour on a 10-second, teaser here.
Yay shows. I'll watch when they come out.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe I'll do a
hopefully
live
we
stream
get
of
more
it for
soon.
Pop-Ups.
You know, has Hasbro announced anything in terms of a makeup event for Toy Fair? Have they
No,
done it
but
in
they
March
had
the
one.
last couple of years?
They had one last year in April.
Yeah. Okay, April.
Yeah.
So that would be my guess as to when we're going to see a significant chunk of clips from this.
Well, what we need to do
Yeah.
is have a Fan First Friday, just multiple times where they show off like one new figure that we already know about, but they don't put the pre-orders up.
Well, they could bring in that one lady who doesn't really seem to know about Transformers, but she talks about all the video game tie-ins.
Here you
And
go.
Oh, you
she
just
talks
miss
about the shows.
you just miss your friends. You want them to bring the people you like back instead of these new ones, don't you?
I think they're the same people.
We'll take that off.
I did point out to Paul in the last episode that I felt kind of bad for the other folks on that Fan First Friday, because during her segment, they all had to sit through it, and then once her segment was done, she was gone. She's like, I'm not going to sit through you guys talking about toy reveals. I'm here to talk about video games, and then I got other stuff to do. You all have to sit through me talking about video games before you're allowed to talk about your toys.
That was weird.
Yeah.
It didn't even dawn on me that like there's going to be toys for this new show, and they must be replacing the Cyberverse, like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like pegs, right? That's what they'll be.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, for go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I really wish the toys would be good. I know they probably won't be, but I wish that they would. Like I wish they at least went back to the RID 2015 quality, which I don't know, that's probably long gone. But
I've enjoyed the deluxe Cyberverse toys. They've been decent. They're not spectacular, but I enjoy them.
Good.
Yeah. So I mean,
no longer have any.
I am pretty good.
I've been on the fence of selling mine, and like I've got a Cheetor in my in one of my Amazon lists, and I'm just waiting for him to go cheap before I pick him up, because I do want to get him, and I might basically rent him for like 6 months and then decide to sell him.
Well, you never know. Like these kid toy lines, sometimes they're really awesome, sometimes they're just complete garbage. And maybe with Nick Roach being involved, maybe that will have an effect, because he seems to know a lot. If you're a Transformers fan, even in media, you care about the toys to an extent. And sometimes that, especially with the visual creative, you will design your characters with the intent for them to transform properly. And so sometimes that helps with the physical manifestation of those designs. So
that is interesting, because I did have a conversation with Milne once at a con where he had wanted to redesign some of the Transformers characters, as he didn't feel like the Roach designs lent themselves well to actual transformations. And Milne wanted to reconfigure where the parts were laid out so it would look more like it would transform like the toys would.
I'd love to see those two dudes fight. Let's see them.
The Scotsman versus the Canadian.
Yeah, I actually think Milne has the strength to overcome in a battle of physical wits. Yeah. Who knows? But yeah, I guess now that I'm actually thinking about it. Sure, I'm curious about the show, but I'm actually more curious about how will the toys be? Will they be their own weird size classes that defy, the sanctity of Transformers, or will they stick with Deluxe and Warrior and those weird classes they have now with Cyberverse? Will they pigeonhole the new toys into that framework, or will they create a whole new one?
Where are my BotBots?
And where are the BotBots? I'm sure they're not going to do much different with that other than the vehicles.
Yeah.
But I just think it'd be cool if they took the kid show and sure did their kid line, but then also were oh, here's Deluxes and here's Voyagers that are good. Just give us good stuff, please.
I think Hasbro learned that lesson a little bit when they started to do the Deluxe Cyberverse toys, because those were 2 or 3 years into the Cyberverse line that they gave us sort of more collector aimed versions of the toys. So maybe that is something we'll see here, where you'll get the kid friendly, all that, and then you'll get 1 or 2 releases of the characters in more standard deluxe format. Or I don't know if someone pointed out in the chat, these will be new Reds. We'll get the red versions of these guys, since they might not lend well to transformation.
Yeah. I guess it depends on if the Nickelodeon being on Nickelodeon is the magic bullet. They'll have to react to that down the line, but if it is, that would be great. They can do all sorts of stuff if perpetually being on Nickelodeon. I have no
idea what that means anymore, to be actually have a time slot and be on air, because like I said, my 2 boys don't watch anything on Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon or Disney Channel. It's all streaming, and it's still a cable channel. So you even if folks were to say well, not everyone can afford that, it's not everyone can afford cable either. So this is still a premium that you would have to pay to be able to watch the show.
Well, I just think about Ninja Turtles, because Nickelodeon bought Ninja Turtles from Eastman, right?
Yep.
This is not news. This is a while ago. And I just was like, oh, that's crazy that Nickelodeon, like the brand Nickelodeon owns the brand Ninja Turtles. That is like, that's powerful for a kids media company owns like one of the most successful kids brands of all time. And now they have free reign to do what they want with it. That's got to be good, right?
A Seth Rogen cartoon.
I don't get it. Seth
Rogen is making a new Ninja Turtle show. That was one of the announcements that came out yesterday.
What? Holy shit.
Yeah. So
it seems
Seth
like,
Rogen of Super Bowl
awesome.
Lay's commercial fame.
I just think it could be good. It could be good. It could be boring.
Yeah, I don't know. At least they're trying something new, and you know, I don't know. I'm kind of excited for new show too, because I don't know. I feel like I enjoy the kids oriented shows more. They're just a little bit lighthearted. I thought that the Netflix show, I just did not like that at all. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm with Lucas. The last 10 years, the Transformers media that I've enjoyed the most has been, the Bumblebee movie was enjoyable.
Yeah.
But of the cartoons, Cyberverse and Robot Rescue Bots were quite a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at the new He-Man shows, I like the kid-friendlier version more so than the Kevin Smith version. And no one watches anything with G.I. Joe in it, so we don't have to talk about that.
Oh, did they announce the show?
Not that I heard, no. That I'm sure is. As Peter has discussed and lamented, they keep making bad G.I. Joe things and say, well, no one likes the brand, we should stop making stuff. Instead of just making decent things.
Yep. Hey, maybe we'll do a special streaming event for BotBots or something. We'll watch Christian watch all of them and go crazy as it's the best show in the world or the worst show in the world.
You are getting greedy now.
Reaction video.
I'm Mr. BotBot. We all know this. March 25th. I'm counting down the days. I'm gonna stream it at midnight, or I guess 3 a.m. for me.
When that day comes, you better take some pot bots so you can stay up all night.
I do not do that. Do not partake of the pot bots.
Well, it's time.
I'm annoyingly straight edge.
Got your tattoos?
No, not that annoying. I'm 30 years old.
You don't have a giant
recently found out there was
logo
a
on your
third
shoulder?
component. There was a third component of straight edge that got added at some point between high school and now for me. And I don't agree with that third component.
Oh. Hope it's not what I think it is.
I can't mention it here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Look at you with your book club this week is going to be Till All Are One, 7 and 8.
You're almost done. Keep powering through.
So there you go.
Yeah. The IDW verse is living out that Shockwave cover. Till all are none.
So yeah, those will IDW is going to be done here not too far in the future.
They got 10 months left.
It'll be interesting to see if they go that full 10 months or sometime in August. This is what we're wrapping up. We're finishing this.
We'll find out.
Yeah. I mean, will they go out with a whimper or a bang? Who knows?
Probably a whimper.
Yeah.
Some of us will see you tomorrow on Microcasters. Some of us will see you next week. Talking about a bunch of stuff. Switching up the format.
Yeah, we're switching up the format of Microcaster because apparently, we're our collecting habits have changed slightly, and so we're going to be showing off some different toys this time instead of the same one. So
trying out some new stuff. Drop on by. Tell us if it works. Tell us if it doesn't
check it out.
Oof, my Microcasters.
That's basically what we're doing.
But since we're not doing a normal oof show anyway, why not? We can steal it.
Why not?
Right? We're stealing your concept.
It's not my concept.
That's true. It's not your concept.
We all own it.
That's true.
So,
I'll figure it out.
yeah.
As long as we don't bring back the Sunday's Mr. Starscream stuff. That was awful.
I miss
No,
Mr. Starscream.
I think
I do too. I wish Mr. Starscream would come back.
I was pretty sure Mr. Starscream got some of our highest viewed content, Phil. So
One day he just disappeared. No one
Maybe-
knows where he went.
he got
Well, I
sick
think the
of.
good thing was because Mr. Starscream didn't show his face, and that's why he didn't scare
Maybe
off
he'll
the
come back when
viewers.
we need him most.
I think once Mr. Phil joined the show, I think Mr. Starscream disappeared. So I don't know what that means.
I think I was just a letter writer for one episode of that.
Can I say one last thing? Watch Yellow Jackets.
There you go.
Has nothing to do with Paramount Plus. Just watch it.
Oh, Zaldron came up with a new name for the show.
It actually does have something to do with Paramount Plus. Because isn't Yellow Jackets a Showtime show?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Showtime and Paramount, I think, are tied together,
Oh.
and so
okay.
there's
Great.
going to be a joint subscription you can get for Showtime and Paramount Plus.
Well,
Then great. You can watch Transformers X Balls and you can watch Yellow Jackets, which will be a far more entertaining view. As a Transformers fan, I can admit that.
I would recommend the woman in the house across the street from the girl in the window.
I heard that's good from you.
That's
what
a
did
long
Zaldron
show
want to
title.
call the new show?
Oh, Zaldron wants to call the new show Micro Oofters.
Sounds horrible. Try again, Zaldron.
Mr.
Wow.
Galvatron. Who's Mr. Galvatron? Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I get it.
Whatever, but... Well, thanks guys for joining me tonight. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Thanks to Ron. Thanks to Catherine. Thanks to Zaldron. Did we have...
Again, sorry for my slip of.
Just
Yeah.
don't mention it.
Yeah. It's okay. It's, slip up every once in a while. Anyway, all right. Well, we'll see you guys tomorrow night, and then there will be a cut the tape up some point. I've been sitting on it myself. I need to go ahead and edit it and put it up. So I apologize to Rick for not doing that timely. So he sent it to me while I was on vacation. So.
Thanks everybody for watching. Follow and subscribe and click things if you can, and just don't click the dislike button.
So.
Yeah, don't do that.
I thought
That'd be-
Lucas disabled
that'd be
that.
great.
I don't think it matters. All right. Well, thanks, guys, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.